Hello, people. We are here today to review YouTube comments from last week's videos. If you want to be in this video, leave a comment. You might get in. Like and subscribe, and we have a whole basket of range today. So let's get in here. Captain Gamer starts with progress makes sense for red. You get to be aggro and do the aggro thing, but you are fully affected after the battle. Any lingering effects reapplies, and it has zero protection at any other point. But that's not really. I understand what he's saying. Yeah, red is aggro, okay. But that's not my point. My point is, why does it even have to exist in the first place? And we're also assuming that it is only ever going to be on red cards, which at this point, it's too soon to tell. Now, I am hoping this ability is just like a Owen Dreadnought exclusive thing and we never see it again. That would be very nice. I would appreciate that. But until we know for sure, we don't know for sure. But yeah, you can, all the lingering effects activate after and whatever and all that. That's fine. But like, nah. Nicole V. Bao. Cyclone Mon is so valuable because you can play it off the Lamia effect to pop the new Petrification token. Best case scenario, you go into Medusa over Lamia, attack, make a token, play an Eliza for a free search, then get the GG Inherit will digivolve into Cyclone for 1 on Eliza, pop the token, and get a mem back from Eliza Inherit. I also thought it looked goofy at first, but slowly realized how valuable it is as a 4 of. This is someone who's obviously put a lot more thought into this than I did, which is really cool to see, honestly. We love these are the comments that we love. These are good comments. I think Nicole V. Bao might have the best comment of the week, which is great from a substance perspective, of course. So yeah, when you word it like that, Cyclone Mon definitely a 4 of. And I'm sure it will be, honestly. Christian Garcia 9245. Can't wait till we get the tricolor on Wargreymon X card with all the effects that Magna, Gallant, and Omninex have and more. That will be the day. This was in relation to the new option, the one that warps you up a level for free, basically. Imagine if we get that Dragonkin Wargreymon X that just does too many things, but you can just go into it for nothing. That'll be a problem, which is kind of my point. So I'm glad this guy understands this. Paul's Gold Weapons. I sold the first serial Metal Garurumon on TCG Player. Everyone's trying to sell for 2K, but based on all current meta relevant SP cards and even Serial Blitz Omni, $850 seemed like a fair and reasonable price to list. This guy is the innovator, which is really cool. We'll see what happens to the price over time, you know. Quartzman. As a rule, if it costs more than a box, I don't need it. I love my Omni cards too, but not that much. This is in reference to Altart 2.5 Omni X, because it does cost more than a box. And that's honestly a fair rule, you know, don't go crazy. And this guy has a good example of that. Vizrael. The 4th Rena was evading me for almost 2 years since release, and I bought the Altarts for $30 as my Christmas gift. I'm very happy right now. That's really nice and wholesome. We love to see that. But I'm more interested in these comments in a certain sense. Those Renas shouldn't be worth this much. This godforsaken community makes these prices go up, while All Force V Dramon isn't even meta anymore. Digimon has the worst community if it comes to card prices. And so the original poster replies, I mean, it's just a buyout. Someone will drop the price just listing more. It's not worth, like, it's worth that. But the support does come make All Force powerful, then Renas will have that price just because there's no reprint for her. And this is correct. This is 100% a true analysis of what's going on. Rena has had no reprint. Rena is the only reason the All-Force deck even has legs, to the extent that All-Force has legs. You know, it's just the best card in the deck. The more Renas you draw, the higher your chance of victory, even in today's meta. That's how it is, right? Digimon does none of the worst community when it comes to card prices. I would argue Yu-Gi-Oh! And kind of Magic the Gathering, way worse. Way worse. Wanger. Buying EX8 just to try to crack a Medieval Gamma is not worth it. Just buy the card outright. The single cost approximately the box and at EX8 at this point. I don't think you should... I mean, if you want to have fun and crack and try to get that card, go for it. But you really should buy Medieval Evils if you don't have them already. And follow-up point... I think that the best play with EX8 is just to keep the boxes sealed, honestly. Keep them sealed. Buy them at $80 or $90, keep them sealed, and see what happens. Worst case scenario, nothing happens and you can crack them open anyway. Best case scenario, they go up and you make some good money. So that's where we are with that. Bussy Destroyer. Cyberdramon slash Justimon is used by Ryuji Mishima, one of the Hack of Memory characters, so BT23 support likely. And if you guys take that seriously, you definitely want to invest in those cards now because they will go up in price. I don't know enough which cards in Justimon are good, so if you know, invest. Honestly. Kaz. Damn, watching Medieval Gauntmon price hype unfold like Death Exmon back in the day is surreal. And we called it and we knew it was going to happen. And hopefully people take this seriously for the next time we get a secret rare that's just a generic throw in anything that's really good. I think people, weren't really playing when Death X came out. Maybe, okay. Medieval Gauntmon is doing the same thing. And the next secret rare that does similar things will also do the same thing. So prepare yourselves. Get the knowledge and take it. Retsu. Hey Mario, I recommend you look into Crossheart. The deck is dirt cheap to make and can actually compete with some of the meta decks of the format. I think it's worth highlighting when you got a meta that's an advertised decks close to $100 due to medieval techs. There's also decks like Crossheart that are competitively viable under $30. It also gets even more support in the upcoming set. Honestly, believe it's a sleeper deck of that format that EX6 is crazy. I don't know what he means by EX6 is crazy. Maybe he's talking about the card price of the box. I don't know. But, I will look into Crossheart. I will write it down on the list, especially because BT21, we've printed the proxies. We've sleeved the proxies. The testing has begun. So it will get in the rotational thing that we do, and we might have some news to discuss when we test it. I don't know. DigiDread. BT22 is definitely the one I'm diving into. Sundramon getting support is a huge W for me. Hopefully she'll get some main set loving. I would love a secret rare Sundramon Ace. And maybe another good rookie. And maybe a good ultimate. Another Arisa. That's really what I want. Or maybe we'll get some cracked delay option. I doubt it, because the Green Birds don't have that yet. But, anything's possible, I guess. TCG Mario. Hey, TCG Tamer says, hey Mario, longtime viewer and follow content creator here. I would love to do a collab with you if you're willing to have me. Just let me know, man. It would be an absolute pleasure to work with you. I got a lot of comments and a lot of messages after I made that video. So the floodgates are definitely open, for lack of better terminology. I am waiting to see what happens with if I do the podcast, because if the podcast happens, I'll be having guests on for interviews regularly. So, and I want to get everyone from the biggest content creators like myself to the smallest content creators. A, for exposure. B, just have good general conversation. Yeah, that would be like the extent as of right now, but we'll see what happens and then we go from there. But thank you for everyone that showed interest. I have you all written down. I got like a lot of people. It's cool. The Dan. Love this format. I threw together Ocean Friends focused on Regalcasmon. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Top end, that works pretty well. XL, which still stinks. And the extra cards from the Pokemon deck with the forward to Garudamon and Eaglemon as your main play, which has worked surprisingly well. Regulation format, Volume 1. Very fun. Love to play it. We're not playing it anymore. We've basically cooked the format. It's done. We're moving on to BT21. But I'm excited for those locals, and I'm going to try to hit up a few. I'll have to travel to a few, but I have no issues doing that because it's just a nice breath of fresh air considering where we are right now. East Coast Overseer. I'm very excited to play my Dex Doru deck with the exception of level 6s and the Super Doru. The deck is all legal. Maoki and Violet Tamers both help the deck, and there are some decent level 6s to play. Ultimate Brachiomon's excellent against the effects of all inheritables and evolves for 3. On my YouTube membership, I do have a Regulation Battle Volume 1 Dex Doru deck. It uses a different top end and maybe not the rookies you think. If you're interested, YouTube membership. There's the plug. Lots of decks there. There you go. Angel of Hell. I've finished my deck for the event already. Here's the list. 50 Eosmon level 5 Altarts. Based. Run it. Statosaur. As one of the best Gauntlet players at the moment, 250 for Crimson Ace is insane. Omni X is where it's at. Yeah, don't pay 250 for a Galamon Ace Altart. It's come down since then, thank God, but don't be careful. Be careful. Don't get hosed by prices like that. Bammy. Not sure why 7 Demon Lord cards are shooting up since Royal Knight quite literally stonewalls the deck with the new Omeka and Omni X. As long as Royal Knight is meta, 7 great Demon Lords will be effectively dead competitively. And then the comment that I like the most is, what? Binding Crush is a thing. 7 great Demon Lord matchup in the Royal Knight is most certainly not one-sided. It's actually quite skill expressive. Binding Crush makes Royal Knight have to jump through hoops for its protection, kill, turn, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Look. Whether or not you believe that 7 Great Demon Lords loses to Royal Knights consistently is not the point that I want to bring up here. There are... I don't know how to word this without sounding insulting, so I'm just going to say it the way it comes out, and if I offend anyone, I apologize. There are, in all formats of all card games, there are formats where certain really good decks just auto-lose to a certain deck that's in the meta. And that's okay. But sometimes you have to consider that when you're playing that deck. Right? What? If it's the best deck in the format. I'm not saying Demon Lord is the best deck in the format. But let's say, if the best deck in the format hard loses to a certain deck in the format, do you just not play the best deck of the format? No. You play the best deck of the format if you want to, but keep an altruistic mind open that you might play against your worst matchup, and you have to build your deck appropriately to deal with it. It doesn't matter. And we've also had rock, paper, scissors metas in some games, where like you have 3 decks, where one is really good against the other, then the other is really good against the other, then the other is really good against the first one. That just exists. Well, that's not a reason to not play those decks, right? That's stupid. Sorry. And then last comment of the day, the Great Way. I'm so confused as to how the Rare Davis Motomiya is higher than the Hollow from the Just One random decks. It's just harder to find. That's all it has to do with. It's just harder to find. A little bit of premium on that because it's the OG printing. Some people take that very seriously. And that's it for today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'll see you later. Bye.